Can you feel it? Can you feel this new, exciting new venture that's overcoming video games? I can. It's like I don't know, like the second coming or something. Like I'm really excited for the passion that I once had in video game. And I'm starting to think, is the emergence of independent titles a new paradigm for the video game industry? A shift, in my opinion, is exactly what the video industry needs. We have reached a point in video game history where AAA titles are exceedingly expensive to create. Not just development, but the insidious marketing. Some recent examples include Destiny with its $500 million budget, Grand Theft Auto 5 at $265 million, and COD Modern Warfare 2 at $200 million. This inflation of budget costs has resulted in publishers investing in the tried and true formula of publishing what is successful, or what is meant to be successful.
The sundown path. Kid ain't here for pleasure.
This in turn has created a do or die scenario for developers of big budget games. And it's following this line of thinking that has narrowed down the selection of big budget games to a specific set of genres, which are first person shooters, racing simulators, and sports games. And I'd just like to elaborate here on these points, that these are, as it were, kind of the most shallow genres. Now, I know you could make this argument for any genre, but think about a sports game. They come out with these sports games every year, and people enjoy whatever their national league is, and they want to be a part of it, they want to game with it. That's cool. I'm not knocking that. But what I am knocking is that they don't make much of a difference with these Maddens. They don't make much of a difference with these NBA 2Ks, with a new NHL every year. Like, the game mechanics kind of stay the same. They're altered just a little bit along with the roster, and you might get new graphics, but the core of the game stays the same. I just want to say, like, I know it doesn't take a little bit of effort to make a video game, but I'm just saying that these specific genres are the least innovative.
Not so much for noise and tomfoolery.
And it's come to my point in I'm an FPS player, and I'm just kind of getting bored of these multiplayer only titles that offer no substance, and yeah, they're fun for a little bit, but I don't just want to play your game for a month or two. I want to play your game for like half a year. I want to be invested. I want to be having fun, and it's just I'm really finding the fun factor hard to come by in FPS multiplayer games. But that could be just me. But as a gamer, I'm kind of burnt out on these specific genres. And what I was talking about earlier, about what had me excited, which was I've been recently playing indie games, and I found that enjoyment in video games again. It's like a throwback to nostalgia of like when I was a kid and I was playing Super Nintendo. And it's these niche titles in indie games that are filling that gap of my lack of interest in, AAA titles. And it's nice to see a lot of people developing for indie games, with indie development kits and the reduction in the cost of game development with smaller teams. You got like someone like that Fez guy. He made the game all by himself. It's now possible to do that, and digital platforms like Steam make it easy to get your game out there. And just to the future, it's just like, I'd rather buy a $15 indie game title that brings me enjoyment than to spend $60 on a AAA title that I thought would bring me enjoyment. And the way that the industry's shifting to it, it's like you used to have to be a part of the big publishers. They played a key role in game development. You know, you needed access to their capital to develop the game, and without their distribution network, you couldn't get to the customers. But Kickstarter, you know, we're finding a way around these totalitarian publishers and everything they inflict on video games, and they have no regard. Like, you could tell when they come up with these microtransactions, these DLCs, these season passes, that they don't have you in mind. They're not thinking about your fun factor. They're chopping the game up and then selling it to you piece by piece.
Who else?
But the one advantage indie games do have is their ability to take risks that traditional publishers would never take. And this results in innovation that rejuvenates the industry. Like, I'm hedging my bets on indie in the future. I don't know if it'll last, but you know, while it's good and we're getting oversaturated on indie games and we're getting different perspectives of games, we're getting new types of games, I'm all on board for this. Just like, not all the indie games are good. Like, when you have a whole bunch of people developing for indie games, you have the developers in it for the quick buck. They're just trying to get up on Steam as fast as they can and try to make as much money. And I don't understand the people that buy these, but apparently people go for kind of anything. And that's what's kind of nice about the PC platform. It's like a different breed of people. I noticed that when I came to this platform that I had this console mentality. I couldn't understand MMO. I couldn't grasp my mind around a game that didn't end, that it was all about interaction, and it just, you know, with like adventure games and games like Devil May Cry and Resident Evil, you know, the game has a beginning, middle, and end, and it has an ending cutscene. And coming to the new platform, it was just like I couldn't get my mind around these things. But just now that I'm here, it is expanding, and I'm getting into video games that I normally wouldn't have got into, and I'm loving it. But mostly too, it's the nostalgia factor. You know, when you go back to 8-bit games, 8-bit platformers that like the Shovel Knight and, you know, Super Meat Boy, or a game that I just heard of was Axiom Verge. And all these games have in common is that they're based off like Super Nintendo games like Super Mario, Castlevania, and Super Metroid. The developer was obviously a fan of these games. They reinvented the game with their own story, with their own game mechanics, but they're very similar to these Super Nintendo titles, and I find that just cool. That's awesome. And it's just the difference between that and a AAA title remastered is it's not the same old game with new graphics. It's a reimagined, and it is a new game. It's the developer's new perspective on a game that they love, and it shows. It shows because you get that nostalgic feeling of when you played that game and you enjoyed that game, and it's a new experience as opposed to a remastered, which is a game that you may or not have already played, but it is the exact same game with new graphics, possibly new voice acting. It's just, we don't need this recycled, stagnant staleness that has come to the industry. We need this new stuff. And that's why I want to invest in indie game titles. And I want to invest in them because they're the underdog, you know, they need my support, and I'm happy to provide my support because I enjoy your video games, and I do love video games, and this is just a point I wanted to make that, yeah, indie games are making me happy, and I just wanted to share that with you. Later.